Hello. This video provides our AGM with a summary of our activities over the 2015-2016 year and up to the present. We're shooting much of this year's video in South Australia's new $32 million drill core reference library, which was opened earlier this year. I have just returned from our annual conference in the Swan Valley, where we launched our new Roxplorer coiled tubing drill rig. These two launches make me reflect on the importance of long-term government and research funding through the cycles of the mining industry. Both the Drill Core Reference Library and Roxplorer have been developed through what I hope will become known as the downturn of 2012 to 2015, and both have been launched into a mining and exploration market showing signs of recovery. At its close on the 31st of October, the ASX 300 Metals and Mining Index was 2,769, up from its year low of 1,639. The ASX All Ordinaries Gold Index was 4,500, up from its year low of 2,596. These indices are up 70 to 75% from their lows in January. But the recovery in the market has not yet flowed through into ABS data on expenditure on mineral exploration. I await the September quarter ABS data on exploration expenditure with interest. I am hopeful that mineral exploration activity will follow the markets higher, and that the Drill Core Reference Library and Roxplorer and our other technologies are being delivered into a growing sector that needs innovative approaches to the challenge of exploration under barren cover rocks. That challenge of successful mineral exploration under cover in relatively mature mining jurisdictions such as Australia has remained a constant and is one we must solve irrespective of the industry cycles if mining is to play an important role in Australia's economy over the long term. The relevance of DET CRC's outcomes is witnessed by the fact that despite the mining downturn of 2012 to 2015, projected lifetime revenue is about $13 million higher than in our original Commonwealth Agreement budget. I've always argued that measurement should be via our technical research outputs as opposed to via funding inputs, but the inputs are important. David Giles will discuss our key technical outputs later in the video. DET CRC has maintained its laser-like focus on the priorities established by the Science Steering Committee, especially the three pillars of coiled tubing drilling, associated downhole petrophysical sensing, and top-of-hole geochemical and mineralogical sensing. This focus and consistency has been critical to our success.
Our annual conference continues to be our main communication event for the year. Since our last AGM video, we've held two annual conferences, one in November 2015, the other last month, both of which were held in the Swan Valley in Western Australia. At each of these conferences, we welcomed around 130 delegates, half of whom were from industry and end users, the other half, of course, from our research teams and research students. Without a doubt, the highlight of last month's annual conference was the official launch of Roxplorer, our coiled tubing drill rig. We held a half-day briefing at PDAC 2016 for our North American-based sponsors, and we'll hold the same sponsor-only briefing at PDAC 2017 next year on the morning of Sunday the 5th of March. We continue to distribute our e-news Explore on a quarterly basis, and throughout the year have released several two-page sponsor-only technical briefs on key projects that we hope you find useful. We also released a video series on our technologies as deployed on the Mineral Systems Drilling Program. And if you're after a concise technical update for either yourself or someone within your organisation, we recommend the relevant technical brief and supporting MSDP technology deployment video. Technical briefs can be found on Centric, and all our videos sit on our YouTube channel, DET CRC TV. We made 3 press releases since our last AGM video. The first on the commercialisation of our Lab-at-Rig technology by Reflex, the second on the conclusion of the Mineral Systems Drilling Program, and the third on the commercialisation of our wireless sub-technology by Boart Longyear. At a more detailed technical level, we now have 978 reports loaded onto Centric, our project management system, and we continue to send out a monthly summary to help navigate your way around. And finally, we intend to go all out for our 7th and final annual conference in Hahndorf and Brakanga in 2017. We'll be providing major demonstrations of our technologies for optimising conventional drilling, our coiled tubing drilling and related sensing technologies. So put the 13th to the 15th of September in your diaries now, and we'll see you then.
DET CRC has achieved its ambitious target of enrolling 50 postgraduate research students, with 57 commencements, including 20 completions to date. 57 postgraduate research projects represent a major contribution to DET CRC's research. In addition to the postgraduate research students, 66 honours students and 21 Masters by Coursework students have completed research on DET CRC related topics. The focus is now on ensuring our large cohort of postgraduate students are successful and that we hit our target of 40 postgraduate research completions. We award a $3,000 completion bonus to PhD students who have qualified for their degree, and this is to encourage students to complete. I hope that we overspend our $120,000 budget line.
I completed a PhD with the DET CRC on the geochemistry of the cover around the Tunkilia Gold Prospect in the Gawler Craton. I'm now working as a postdoctoral researcher in the Labbit Rig project with a particular interest in adapting Labbit Rig to percussion coiled tubing drilling. There are some interesting challenges regarding sampling from percussion coiled tubing drilling on which I think we are making good progress.
I am taking a PhD on the geochemistry and mineralogy of the Bulldog Shell in the Eromanga Basin. I am using the Bulldog Shell as a sampling media to know if we could explore under deep cover using the sedimentary cover. To do that, I'm using cheap methods as the handheld XRF and the high logger. I look forward to making the most of my student prize and accompanying the DET CRC team to PDAC next year in Toronto.
Over 80% of our research students have industry or end-user co-supervisors. The mineral exploration industry into which they will move will benefit from our students' industry focus due to both their involvement in our applied research and through their enhanced interaction with industry personnel within the CRC. On the vocational training side, our focus has been on exposing drillers and drillers offsiders to our new technologies, including at Brakanga and in the Mineral Systems Drilling Program. 26 drillers and drillers offsiders were exposed to our technologies through this year, as well as 4 field technicians.
I'm happy to report that our financial position remains secure and that we're tracking well ahead of our original targets. During the reporting period, we secured an additional $500,000 each from the South Australian Government and Curtin University towards the CT Rig project. These funds have allowed for additional personnel to be employed at this critical construction and commissioning stage, as well as allowing for a second rig to be constructed. In addition, the South Australian Government contributed a further $500,000 towards the Mineral Systems Drilling Program to both increase the number of metres drilled and to fund the continued deployment of Labbit Rig throughout the program, a testament to the demand for that product. Cash receipts are now $13.8 million ahead of the original Commonwealth Agreement of $39.7 million, largely due to new sponsors, drilling programs and the South Australian Government grants. For the life of the CRC, we now anticipate receiving $62 million of cash, exceeding our original target by $13 million. In-kind contributions continue to track well ahead of the original Commonwealth Agreement, largely due to the outstanding support from our supplier sector sponsors, principally Boart Longyear, Imdex, Olympus and Global Tech. Sound governance is provided by our Audit Committee, and our independent auditor, EY, has again signed an unqualified audit opinion on the financial statements. Turning now to a summary of our commercialisation activity. Licences have been executed on 7 technologies, the most significant of these being the AutoSonde, Labbit Rig and Wireless Sub. The respective licensees of these technologies have taken significant steps towards commercialisation. Future commercial offerings include the Auto Shuttle, further sensing capability for the Labbit Rig and the CT Rig. In all, a further 16 product offerings have been identified on our commercialisation pipeline. And finally, we've taken steps to protect IP where appropriate and now hold 8 patent applications, 2 registered designs and 4 trademarks. I'm looking forward to an exciting and busy year ahead, with most projects in their critical final year and with sharp attention on the remaining items on the commercialisation pipeline.
Our most important outcomes are those related to research. Here are our top 10 research outcomes for 2015-2016. There is no doubt the launch and first drilling by our Rocksplorer coiled tube drilling rig is the biggest highlight since our last AGM. Rocksplorer will drill with recycled drilling fluids. So highlight number 2 is drilling 165 metres in 12 hours at Brakunga with a downhole percussion assembly of the type Rocksplorer will use, powered by recycled drilling fluid. With Rocksplorer, drilling returns equal sample, so it's critical that we can control fluid loss. In this context, highlight number 3 is substantial improvements in fluid loss from leaky boreholes at Brakunga. We're also concerned with optimising conventional drilling techniques, and in 2 man versus machine trials, diamond drilling using operating parameters informed by our wireless sub-data significantly improved penetration rate and drill bit life compared to drilling using traditional drillers' gauges. Moving to our work in downhole sensing, highlight number 5 is completion and deployment of our multi-sensor version of the AutoSonde, incorporating total counts gamma sensors and the new magnetic susceptibility sensors. Another highlight is the deployment of the behind the core barrel auto shuttle sensing platform on the Mineral Systems drilling program, successfully acquiring total counts gamma data. Highlight number 7 is the success of cooperative inversion strategies applied to large, co-located 3D seismic and magnetotelluric datasets in Nevada and Finland. Our next highlight relates to processing XRD and LIBS data that will come from the lab at rig. This processing will need to be more rapid than conventional processing in order to keep pace with coiled tube drilling, and we've seen exciting developments in both SwiftMin for automated processing of XRD data and GeoLibs for automated processing of LIBS data. Highlight number 9 is that the real-time drill site project successfully live-streamed data across Australia and internationally from the wireless sub, AutoSonde and lab at rig deployed on a remote South Australian drill site during the Mineral Systems drilling program. This is a key proof of concept for our vision of ongoing coiled tubing drilling programs guided by real-time data. And finally, highlight number 10 is the completion of our $8 million Mineral Systems drilling program on the Gawler Craton. The program concluded in April with 14 drill holes for almost 8,000 metres over a 9-month period. The Mineral Systems drilling program was a collaboration between DET CRC, the Geological Survey of South Australia, Mineral Explorers, Minotaur Exploration and Kingston Resources, suppliers Bort Longyear and Imdex, and numerous other DET CRC supplier and research participants and affiliates. The program was on budget with 0 LTIs. It included field trials of many of our key technologies and helped move them up the technology readiness levels from prototypes to prototype systems and indeed to demonstration systems. I'm also delighted to report that all 84 Commonwealth milestones set in the government funding agreement and due to date have been met.
In closing, I should mention that our Science Steering Committee approved DET CRC facilitating the development of a bid for a new mineral exploration related CRC in 2017. This will be an exciting project over the next year, but we are crystal clear that success is doing what we said we would do in DET CRC on time and on budget. The new CRC bid will not deflect the team in any way from the successful completion of DET CRC. We have a very busy remaining 18 or so months, with the highlights perhaps being extensive trialling of Roxplorer and the development of its sensing capabilities, and also the licensing of numerous technologies that we have developed to enhance conventional drilling. I'd like to thank our participants and affiliates for their ongoing support and guidance during the year. I also want to thank the board for its terrific support and the small but excellent management team at DET CRC. Most of all though, thanks to the researchers and research students. It's your outcomes that are the key to success.